everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these beautiful turquoise blue coasters with a little bit of clear and gold in the center that makes them look a bit like a geode. This is going to include every step. So starting with the materials, I'll be using magic resin, tabletop and art epoxy, jacquard pinata brass for the gold, and this color shift turquoise that I got from Walmart for the blue turquoise color. I use a torch for the bubbles, and you'll see I have a mixing cup here. So the next step is pouring equal parts A and B and mixing. You'll notice that I'm not wearing a respirator or gloves in this video. I don't wear a respirator and gloves when I'm filming, but I do at all other times. I have a whole video on safety practices that I will tag below if you're interested in that. So I'm just going to mix this slowly to ensure we don't have too many bubbles, and then we'll be able to get started. So this is a mold that I made myself. I will tag the tutorial on how to do that below. So I'm going to have two mixing cups here. One, I will put a tiny bit of the jacquard brass in, just so it's a little bit clear, a little bit of gold. And then the other one will have a bit of the turquoise with a tiny bit of navy blue added in to make it just a little bit darker. So mixing that, and then I'll be pouring the blue first. I'm going to be pouring almost to the top, not completely, but almost to the top because it's going to be mostly blue, and then a little bit of the clear gold solution in the center. Then I'm going to take a popsicle stick and drag it out in all directions to create that star-like pattern that is reminiscent of a geode. And then when I'm done with that, I will be torching the bubbles. So here you'll see I've gotten a little bit lower, and I'm using a popsicle stick to pick out any pieces of dust or hair that float to the surface of the resin. I personally don't do a second coat of resin over top, so that means that I have to pick out any imperfections before the coasters cure. And now I'm torching again, not hovering too long over the coasters. So it has been about 18 hours and I am coming back to demold my cured coasters. If I'm using art resin, I wait a little bit longer, closer to 24 hours, but it depends how soft I want my coasters. You'll see here that the edges are a little bit jagged still, and I like to cut them with scissors to make them a little bit softer, and I'll show you how to do that. So again, if you're interested in learning how to make this mold, the video for that tutorial is tagged below. So here's what they look like, a little bit jagged. Let's show you how to cut them. So here we go. This video is sped up a little bit, so you can see that it takes quite a bit of time and little bits of resin to be cut off to make the edges perfect the way I want. To be honest, it is quite a tedious process and not my favorite part of the process, but I think it really makes the edges look nice, so I always do it anyways. You'll notice that the coaster is a little bit wet, and that's because it was a little too cured, which means that it was very hard, and if you wet it in hot water, it becomes soft again and easier to cut. So that's a little tip that I like to use. Soak it in hot water for 5 minutes, and then it'll get softer. So now I'm going to show you how to paint the edges. I have another video on the metallic paints that I use and the varnish that I use on the edges of my coasters, which I will tag in the description below as well if you're interested. This is the Deco Color metallic oil-based paint pen, and this isn't actually the coaster that I demolded in the last video. I didn't have a video of that, but it's the same process. So here you can see I'm painting the edges. Just be careful because this paint pen is a little hard to remove from the surface of the resin, so try to only paint the edges and not go outside of the edges or make any mistake. And that's the end. So here's a photo of the finished product. It's not the same set of coasters as I was pouring in the beginning. You can see that the shape is a little different. Unfortunately, I didn't take a photo of the final product of the first set, but this is the same design, just on a different shape of coaster. So thank you so much for watching today, everybody. I post new videos all the time on resin and different tips and tricks and tutorials, so please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.